Hello, Internet. James Allen from Out of 8, and today I'm playing God Game Crest. In it, you issue commandments to your followers, trying to get them to survive and satisfy their needs. So I'll start a new game here. Game takes place on randomized maps. Although each of the maps has 3 islands on it, and it kind of repeats the same biomes, it is nice that you get a look at a different landscape every time you play. All right. So there's no objectives in the game other than unlocking more words that you can use to issue commandments to your followers. That's basically it. So it's very open-ended. There's no, end game storyline or anything like that. So first thing I'm going to do, if you click on each of your cities has a bunch of different needs. Surplus is basically having a lot of different resources. Offspring is children. Social is trading with other cities that you'll have and forming alliances with them. Esteem is earning expertise by doing the same task over and over again. Food is obviously food. That's going to be my first thing to do. And then safety is having weapons in a high population in order to guard against animals and other tribes. So basically what you want to do is just keep these red arrows in the green. Kind of an odd interface thing instead of just, having left to right green or whatever. So we need to worry about food. So I'm going to tell my guys to get food. So down here, what you can do is you can have 2 kind of objects or adjectives about people and then a verb in the middle. So I'm going to have, and of course it's mixed, I will have the people in the jungle produce berries, meaning pick the berries for food. So I'll have them do that. And then once you issue it, they will say whether they like it or not. Based on their different ratings that they have in the city, they'll eventually form a doctrine, which will basically determine which type of commandments they'll like and which ones they won't. Now, since I did that for my jungle people, I'm going to have my savanna people reproduce. So I'm going to have them produce offspring. And there you go. Each time you issue a commandment, it will use up these influence points. They replenish really slow. More so if you have multiple cities that believe in you. Once you have a lot of ones that are faithful to you, then you'll get more influence points each time. Once you issue a commandment, you can also further spend influence points by either blessing the particular commandment or condemn it, positive or negative. Eventually, each commandment will also get associations which are semi-random, and you'll see when the first one pops up here in a little bit. Related to, kind of sometimes related to the commandment itself, which you can then again bless or condemn, and then they'll try to follow it based on how much they believe your authority and how well you've been following what they want. That's basically it. The only way you can interact with the game is by using commandments, and you're really limited in the amount of influence you have to do those commandments. So we're just going to wait here until stuff happens. Once my population gets up to 8, then I'm going to expand to a second city, because that is the kind of the goal, I guess. I mean, there isn't really one, but getting more people makes things a lot easier. So I'm starting to get people born. They discovered the word overfed, so that's good. So we're going to just accelerate time here until get up to 8, and then we'll start expanding. And then we'll see what else they want. So right now they're actually doing pretty good. They're almost in the greens for basically everything. The esteem and the social we'll deal with in a little bit. Okay, so there's the first association. So they're, for some reason, producing children if you live in the savannah is telling savannah to terraform the jungle. I don't really know why that is, but that's what they're doing. I'm going to condemn that. I don't really like that. that costs 2 of my influence. And then this bottom one's going to get an association at some point. When you have multiple cities, you can have multiple associations for the same commandment. But that's basically it. I mean, you spend most of your time watching what's happening and then waiting for influence points to accumulate. So I will actually expand here in a little bit. You know, 6 is actually pretty decent population. So I think I'm going to expand. So let's do followers who have children. Let's migrate to areas with metal. So Blam, they did not like that because their doctrine is against that, basically. They just want to stay put. So whatever. This little bar here shows you their faith level. So, but they'll probably do it anyway, hopefully. Another part of the game is a somewhat sophisticated ecosystem simulator here, where it has all these different animals, has ostriches and antelopes and lions and hippos that all, they discovered antelope, they all kind of interact with each other. Which is fairly interesting. Now I got antelope, so what I'm actually going to do is do another one where they're going to migrate to areas that have... that's not what I want this. But I got to figure out who I want to send there. Now let's do the jungle people. Followers in the jungle migrate to where there's antelopes. So they did not like that either because they don't want to migrate out of that town. So whatever. So you do have to keep a balance on your resources. You know, you don't want to hunt a certain type of animal out of existence because that will have ramifications down the road if there's nothing for the, you know, higher things to eat. So we'll see if we actually get some other villages here. They don't seem to want to expand too much. It'd be very boring if they don't. And like I said, there's a couple more islands that you can expand to eventually once you get boats. You need to get a coastal city in order for that to occur. Okay, there we go. So finally, we got another town. And we're going to get some people. And the population grows like really fast. Because people will migrate over, and then that will open up basically slots for people to grow up. Because you have all these babies over here that are just waiting for people to move out. So it really escalates very quickly. So these guys want surplus and esteem. So let me see if I can get them to trade. So let me have young people. See if I can have them trade food or something. Distribute resource. No, I don't want that. Scare ostriches away. Trade metal. I'm going to try to do that. You guys going to like that? You like that. You don't like that. Alright, and now I'm down to one more commandment, and then that's it. Until my points regrow. I actually kind of probably want to spend that on... There's a lot of metal here. So let's go... Let's do a migrate. So Savannah, migrate to where there are ostriches. So we can get more food. You know, they liked it, they didn't like it. They don't seem to like anything I do. So they're indifferent towards me. These guys like me a lot, though. So they're faithful, they're undecided. Which is why I get 1 point, because I have one good person there. 1 extra point. And we'll see if they actually expand over and get 3 cities. Then after that, you can tell them to go to the coast. And then after that, you can tell them to go, you know, they'll eventually sail out and go to some of these other islands that are over here. They've discovered middle-aged. Again, we gotta have a ton of antelope over here. which we haven't told them to do yet, but again, I only have 2 points. So, can't tell them to hunt the antelope yet. I did say an association, though. What did they say? Children trade metal. That's fine. I actually kind of like that, to be honest. If I had an extra point, I'd do it. All right, let's hunt some of these dang antelope here. So, middle-aged people consume antelope. So that's hunt antelope. So you consume, destroy, produce, distribute, and migrate. Those are the verbs. There's no more verbs that you can get. But I like how it kind of extends it to be to make more sense there. And then you get a bunch of more other things going on. So we're gonna have them hunt the antelopes, which both people like. So that is a good commandment for me. God said, hunt antelope. So we're gonna hunt the antelope over there. Again, we are full with pop. So when I get back up to 4 influence points, then I'll issue another commandment. But this is what you'll be doing most of the time, is playing the game at max speed and just watching. Oh, good, they did do a new city. That's exciting. Everybody's moving around. 25 notifications. Born moves. Everybody's moving. They're moving away from this, which is interesting. And they're profiteers too. Everybody's profiteers, apparently. I'm getting a ton of points now, which is good because I have 3 faithful cities. This is actually it's one of the better games I've done, to be honest. I'm thinking about trying to tell them to form a city on the coast. Let's see what they want. They want safety. They actually, yeah, all my ratings are actually doing pretty good. Surplus is the only one that's low. I haven't gotten any gems yet. That's why. All right, so let's migrate ostriches. All right, well let's who do I want? Let's do. I don't even have any young people. I'm gonna have to get some reproduction here in a little bit. So let's say people in the savannah migrate to the coast. Do I have coast yet? I do. That'll be my points. And I need to start reproducing here in a little bit too. So hopefully that'll get one of my cities on the coast where then I can get fishing and stuff going. Yeah, we're full at 6. So again, there's nothing much else I could really do. Died of old age. I do need to get more people. Who wants more people? You all do. Everybody. So, is there like everybody? Middle-aged people. Produce children. They like it, they don't. For some reason, I don't know why. They didn't really follow my commandment of making the ocean city, did they? Like so many animals around here, it's crazy. Shouldn't have any problem finding food. You guys really need to expand out. What'd you do? You say Living in the savannah produce children. Yeah, I'm alright with that. I don't have... oh, yeah. I must have just gotten a point there. I'll promote that one. That one's pretty good. Oh, there you go. There's a new town. You know what happened eventually. Everybody seems to be pretty harmonious between everybody else, to be honest about it. Yeah, that thing filled up real quick. Nobody likes Armadillo Highlands for some reason, though. Everyone's always migrating away. There's like dead bodies and animals everywhere and everything. I have a lot of commandments going, I have to say. Too faithful, too undecided. Well, what do you guys want? Safety. Almost have enough for another commandment. Well, I need to get some metal for safety, so let's see what I want to do about that. So we're going to produce metal. Who wants to produce metal? Maybe young people. Overfed. I don't think I have anybody who's overfed. No. Well, let me clear it. Clear. Ugh. Alright, fine. Problem is, I don't know if I have anybody who's overfed. I do know I have people that are young. Alright. There you go. Only one liked it. Well, there you go. I mean, that's Crest. So, like I said, there's no end game objectives. I mean, eventually you're going to unlock all this stuff. I just have to get one more word. When you get another cycle, the lion gets unlocked. And then when they start mining enough, that'll unlock. And then you get happy and socializing, which is good, and trading, which is super good. Because that's when you could start really getting the villages going into, cooperating with each other and stuff, and sending the resources around. But again, you're really restricted on how much you can do, because the only thing you can do is issue commandments, and the only time you can do it is when you have enough influence points, which accumulate very slowly. So I think overall it's an interesting game. It's an interesting idea for a game. It's a very unique concept. But because of the limited amount of influence points, there isn't much to do for most of the time. You can't constantly issue or tweak commandments because you aren't allowed to. You don't have the influence points for it, which is too bad. Because, like I said, the concept is interesting. I like the little ecosystem modeling here with all the different predators and prey that are going on in here. I like the flexibility of issuing the commandments. It lets you do a lot of different commands with pretty simple, ways of issuing, of giving them out. Just using a limited number of objects and verbs to get it done. You have to keep an eye on all the different desires of each of the towns, what their current ratings are and what they need to be, and what they think they should be based on their doctrine and stuff like that. And eventually you can have people go at war with each other and all that stuff, and have a pretty thriving or depressing little economy there. But again, there's just not enough to do. If you're content with just kind of sitting here watching what's happening, it's fine. But it's more, it's kind of an interesting simulation, but not as much of a game because of the limitations and influence you have until you get a very large amount of followers, all of which that are faithful to you. You can, rack up, basically be able to do commandment or two every cycle or every half cycle, and then you can really, get that going. But again, because of the limitations on it, I think that this is more of kind of a passing fancy and interesting idea than a full-fledged game. That's all I have for today. Till next time, bye now.